commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, that you are something that is of little value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Hussein salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi in the first 10 nights of Muharram to say to Imam Hussein, you know what, O Imam, I have forgotten you for the past 355 days of my life. Now I remember you. Habibi ya Hussein. Now I'm coming to you to shed my tears to you because you are my master. Then where was Imam Hussein when you were on Facebook? He was not your master. Where was Imam Hussein salamu alayhi at college? Where was Imam Hussein when you were at university? Where was Imam Hussein when you were at the platform trying to look left or right for I don't know what? Imam Hussein did not exist there and then? Or Imam Hussein was of a lesser value to my existence than to what Imam Hussein means to me in the first 10 nights of Muharram? No. Imam Hussein, salamullah alayhi, brothers and sisters, you must know this as a fact. Number one, did he come out in order to revolt against the current prevailing government on the basis that he wanted a seat of power? No, that was not the motive of Imam Hussein salawatullahi wasalam. It was never intended in his wildest imagination that the Imam in fact wanted a seat of power so that he could sit on it and govern over the Muslim nation. That's not the intention of the Imam. Nor did he come out of arrogance, salawatullahi wasalam alayhi, on the basis that he is related to the Prophet. And since he's related to the Prophet, he has a particular status. And since he has a particular status, then on the basis simply of that status, he has more advantage point to be in the seat of power. No, that was not his intention, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. In fact, Imam Hussein was someone who upheld and was always concerned with so many universal concepts. These universal concepts that are being taken away from the life and the minds of rational thinking and progressive human beings. Progressive not in the sense of being moral, but progressive in the way they look at things and the way they analyze things and the way they arrive at certain conclusion when they look at a particular concept that is challenging them. And they always come favorably in the end with an analysis or an outcome that matches and synchronizes with what Allah wants, not with what their vain glory wants, or what their lures wants, or what their vain temptation wants. No, it is what Allah subhanahu. He said, from far I saw that Imam Zain al-Abidin is wearing red. I said, is this the time for Imam Zain al-Abidin to be celebrating? Because red was a color for celebration. He said, when I drew closer to my Imam, I realized that the color of his clothes were not red, but that was the stain of his blood. Why, brothers and sisters? Why was the color of Imam Zain al-Abidin clothes red? He said, when I drew closer, I saw the Jami'ah. Jami'ah is the ring that was placed against the neck of Imam Zain al-Abidin. Salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. The enemy of Ahlul Bayt, when they placed this ring around his neck, you know what they did? They put small nails inside the Jami'ah. Every time Imam Zain al-Abidin would move his neck, the nails will go into his neck and the blood will come into his clothes. He said, I drew closer to him. I said, my master, Imam Zain al-Abidin, your servant Sa'd ibn Sahl is before you. What do you order me to do? Look what Imam Zain al-Abidin said. He said, oh Sahl, do you have money? He said, yes, I do. He said, go and pay it to the person who is holding the head of my father. I said, why, Ibn Rasulullah? He said, so the people will not look at our woman folk. He said, let him lead the procession and raise the head of our fathers higher and higher, so people will be preoccupied by looking at the face of our father than to be preoccupied by looking at the faces of our women. He said, oh Sa'ad, do you have extra money on you? He said, yes. He said, go and buy extra fabrics for our women. Go and buy some extra fabrics so that they put their fabrics on them. When they take them into the courtyard of Yazid, here the news reaches Hind. You know who Hind was? Hind was the wife of Yazid. Hind, in her childhood, she had a father called Amir or Amr. This father comes to the door of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen after the death of Fatima salamullah alayh, and he says, oh Amir al-Mu'mineen, my daughter has been orphaned, and he lost his wife. I don't have the time to look after her because I'm also a businessman. Would you be able to put her in your house? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, yes, she will be one of our daughters. Kulthum and Zainab will be her sisters. She lived among that family. So when she heard about these people coming to fight against Yazid, she asked her husband, can I go and see them? When they put them in the khariba, as I explained to you, Kulthum and Zainab saw him coming to them. Zainab indicated to Kulthum, do you remember that lady? Kulthum said, is that Hind, our servant? She said, yes, that's Hind. She said, what brings her here to us in this place? Zainab said, she is the wife of Yazid now. So she goes. Now Hind does not know Zainab at that time. She says, oh lady. She doesn't call her even sister. Why? Because she's been told that Zainab is against Amir al-Munafiqeen or whatever his name is. So she says, oh lady, from which part of the world are you? She said, from Medina. She said, what Medina? She says, Medina of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And says, do you know a region in Medina which housed the place called the house of Ali? Zainab breaks out in tears. She said, that is our house. She said, do you know someone called Hussein? She said, yes, Hussein is our brother. His head is in the courtyard of your husband. And breaks down. She said, you are Zainab. She says, I am Zainab and this is Kulthum. And at that time, bolts out. She goes back to the courtyard of Yazid without her scarf. She stands there in front of the men. Yazid screams at her, says, woe unto you. How could you come into the majlis of men without properly cladding yourself? She said, woe unto you, oh Yazid. You're worried about your wife, but you're not worried about the daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam being paraded, and you claim that there are renegades when there are the children of Fatima and Ali. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أيام